Hello everyone, and welcome to this Kerbal Space Program patch number 1 release video, where I break down the brand new patch that Interactive Games just released. I apologize if I sound strange or weird. I've been battling a very serious case of the flu, and I'm currently at home using my subpar recording equipment. It's not great, and you'll probably notice some audio distortion in this video, but I've done my best to clean it up in post, and I hope you still enjoy this video. We're talking about that game today because the game's newest and first patch since the game launched has just come out today. Before we get to the main point of the video, please be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. It really does help my channel grow as I'm a small creator. And also be sure to follow me on social media to find out what I'm up to and what games I'm currently playing. Now, enough talking about me, let's get into the video. The devs over at Intercept Games have knocked it out of the park with this new patch. We're looking at over 10 pages of notes, over 300 fixes, overhauls, and improvements made to KSP2. Some needed fixes for what many users have said is a broken, buggy, early access game released too early for players to enjoy it. Be sure to stay till the end of the video to hear one change not in this patch, which I think was a big mistake. This new patch, patch 0110, is KSP2's first patch since the game launched. We're a little under 1 month's time since the game first launched. Kind of a long time to make players wait for a first patch to fix problems that many people have experienced with the game. For many fans, having to wait almost a full month for a patch to fix the game felt a lot like players who booted up No Man's Sky for the first time. Nevertheless, the community and the devs seem to love this game and have been working around the clock to fix bugs and uncover and solve issues many players have had within the game. While this patch contains a lot of bug improvements, it does not fix every bug in the game. This update represents the first step in an ongoing process of improvement that will continue through early access. If a high-profile bug that is especially important to you has not been addressed in this patch, please keep in mind that the order in which fixes roll out is not just contingent on priority. It is also dependent on the complexity of the problem that causes the bug. The KSP community has done a very good job communicating their priorities to us, and we're working to resolve the highest impact issues first. I think this is a great statement by the developers who have tried to work with the community to address priority fixes first and then problem areas second. Now, as we go through each change and improvements listed on the patch notes, keep your eyes out for a little rocket ship emoji. This little icon highlights problems that were found by the community and the developer has responded to with a fix. This really does show how the developers are caring for the community and listening to the community's feedback. In fact, Intercept Games is asking that all players reach out to them with any issues encountered so they can quickly patch problem areas. I've added and listed several ways you can contact them down below. Since there are over 10 pages of notes to crawl through, I've gone ahead and created a curated list of some of the biggest and most welcome fixes the developers have issued. If I covered all 10 pages, all 300 fixes, this little video would go from being 10 minutes to probably over an hour of content. And I don't know about you, but I don't think even I would want to watch an hour-long patch notes video. I warn you, this list is pretty long, but I'm going to try and go through it as fast as possible, and then all subsequent sections after this are much smaller, so please bear with me as we jump right in. Bug fixes, specifically looking at flight and map issues. They've fixed the disappearance of orbital trajectories after loading a saved game, fixed trajectory intercept patch not showing when captured by a celestial body, fixed issues where some parts remain connected to / follow vessels after detachment, fixed stack decouplers staying connected to the vessel when staged with certain engines that have fairings enabled, fixed delta V incorrectly using reinforced joint parts connected to fuel flow calculations. Now, I'm not sure if this has also fixed the odd bug where parts would drain fuel across each other even if the fuel flow was disabled, but the devs said that they have fixed this issue. A fix for engine thrusts being deflected at too high of a value when a part obstructs an engine's exhaust, the Kraken drive bug. I'm sure many players may be sad to see this part fixed, as Reddit was abuzz with many crazy crafts using heat shields and panels to redirect engine thrust. Fixed stack decouplers operating as if crossfeed is active even when PAM entry shows crossfeed disabled. Fixed delta V calculations for staging with multiple engines with different burn durations and propellant rates. This is a needed fix many players have been requesting, since it kind of crippled any of their SSTO style crafts. Fixed vessel not restoring correctly when reverting to the launch from the runway. For me, this is a huge fix and an issue that I've really been struggling with since the game first came out. I lost so many Kerbals to just the void by recovering them. Jeb would be there one moment and then gone the next. I think I ran through 50 Kerbals during my first 2 hours of playing the game, just from this bug alone. Wow, that was a long list, but I promise you things get much shorter after that. The next section we have is optimizations to the game, a section most players are probably hoping for massive improvements and fixes to the game. Optimized engine exhaust damage calculations to reduce CPU impact of high engine counts. Optimized throttle VFX manager to reduce CPU impact of pre-frame material property updates. Optimize loading times in PQS code, optimize EVA code, optimize loading times for the main menu, loading optimized for scatter meshes, optimize fuel flow calculations to cut processing by up to 3 times and reduce garbage by half. Fixed various textures and mesh memory leaks. Removed unnecessary log entries to improve performance. Next section that we see improvements and fixes in is saving and loading. They've added a feature, which is a game now auto-saves when landing on a celestial body, when entering a sphere of influence, and when entering or exiting an atmosphere. I'm very excited for this addition to the game, and it should save a lot of heartache and headache for players that didn't save as often. Parts and stock vessel fixes and updates. Fixed the Rapier engine mode changing issues. Set all reinforced joint connections to grandparents. This may stop players from going to the base code and changing the strut values. I also hope this fix increases the joint rigidity of struts so that we can finally build crafts and not have that wobbly rockets that a lot of players have been experiencing. Improved joint strength for engine plate floating stack attachment nodes. Improved wheel balance pass, including adjustments of all steering and torque curves. This should solve a lot of landing gear and rover wheel issues that players have been experiencing. I know a lot of people have been disabling the traction, and hopefully this fixes that. Retuned fairings and cargo part mass. I know a lot of players have been excited for the retuning of fairings and cargo parts, which should hopefully reduce wobbly rockets and unstable rockets. User interface and user experience improvements and fixes. UI performance improvement including elimination of unnecessary redraw for unchanged bar elements and removal of pixel perfect on main gameplay canvas. Fixed graphical quality settings conflicting with one another after resetting settings. Improvements made to the escape menu user experience. Construction. They've added the middle mouse button now pans in the Z-axis when in the horizontal workspace mode. In my opinion, a needed feature, very similar now to how most 3D render/design softwares control. Very needed feature in horizontal workspace mode. Fixed fairing sides getting deleted after building a procedural fairing and attaching it to a launch assembly. Fixed issues where pressing M in the VAB opens the map view. Can't tell you how many times I accidentally did this. Adjusted default VAB camera angle for horizontal workspace mode. A very needed fix. The environment. Not a lot to say here that isn't self-explanatory. This section covers a ton of fixes, improvements, updates, and changes to textures, item placements, geometry, and general code that deals with the environment both in and outside of the VAB, as well as numerous changes to various planets in the Kerbal system. EVA. A section where I just never had any of these bugs that I'm about to talk about because I never go on EVAs. Improved Kerbal run/walk animation transition. Fixed Kerbal surface velocity resetting when disabling RCS in EVA mode. Fixed inability to recover Kerbals on an EVA. Fixed a bug preventing EVA jetpack from firing even when it has enough fuel. Fixed Kerbals being able to walk on the sides of objects with collision. Down to the final 3 sections. Sound effects and audio. They improved Kerbal flare/bloom effects throughout the game. Fixed post-processing lighting transitions in low orbit. fixed launchpad music not playing when loading a save. This is probably the most common of all of the audio and visual effects happening, at least for me it was. That ends my major bug fixes and updates list for this game. Now, the more savvy viewers may have noticed I did not mention one game-breaking, annoying bug that many of us still encounter every time we fly a ship. That would be the wonderful status update dialog box being spammed across our screens. This status bug has yet to be fixed. This is a shame as it's really annoying to many players. The devs are aware of this issue and did it in the known issue section of the patch notes. We are aware of this issue and will be looking to address this in a future patch. Of all the issues players want them to fix, it is this issue, in my opinion, that should have been ranked higher and fixed more quickly. Intercept did have this to say about known issues and a future release window for patch 2. We are hard at work on patch 2 and have already committed some important new changes to the build. Upcoming fixes in patch 2 will fix fuel line issues that prevent asparagus staging, stop the unexpected in-flight destruction of vehicles equipped with physicless parts, and allow vehicle switching in an atmosphere, among other improvements. No concrete word from Intercept Games on when the next patch will be released. We know that patch 2 is actively being worked on, and I expect to see a bi-monthly patch release for this game in accordance to what the developers have said on their roadmap. I personally have yet to boot up the game with these new fixes to see if it improves my gaming experience, but having just read the notes, I'm not seeing any major CPU or GPU improvements that would increase my frame rates or stop Kraken-related spaceship explosions. However, most of this is to be expected with the game still in early access. Maybe your experiences have been different. Maybe this patch really solved a lot of issues for you. I expect to do a comparison and contrast video on the current state of the game versus this new patch, so look forward to that coming up very soon. Did I miss a patch note that you think is important? Did I explain something wrong or not understand how the developers patched something? Let me know by commenting below. Just keep the discussion civil. Go ahead and give this video a like and be sure to subscribe to my channel. It really does help my channel grow. Until next time, I'll see you all in the next video.